Hi, my name is Luisa Basurto, and today I'm going to talk about the Holocaust from the perspective of human and gender rights, and why does it still matter to this day. I'm going to give a brief explanation of what the Holocaust was. Well, the Holocaust was Nazi Germany's deliberate, organized, state-sponsored persecution and machine-like murder of approximately 6 million European Jews and at least 5 million prisoners of war, Romani, Jehovah's Witnesses, homosexuals, and other victims. As a society, teaching remembrance of the Holocaust is a crucial safeguard against history and serious human rights violations repeating themselves. Now I'm going to show you a little video about the International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
I am humbled to join you today as we solemnly remember and honor the 6 million lives tragically lost during the Nazi era, a period of unparalleled depravity and inhumanity. As we come together to commemorate International Holocaust Remembrance Day, we express our commitment to remembering the past and preserving the truth. History remembers, and we must never forget the atrocities the Jewish community faced during the Holocaust. The Holocaust continues to serve as a warning to us today that is no less urgent than it was when the world first learned of the extent of Nazi crimes decades ago. We must never forget how quickly fear, hate, and bigotry became normalized and soon came to govern a nation. We must today uphold and recommit ourselves to the vow of never again. Today, the Jewish community continues to face discrimination and hate, but as they have done through some of the darkest periods in human history, they maintain their faith. On behalf of the United States of America, I light this candle as a signal to the world that freedom and justice will always shine brighter than hate and oppression. Let us remember and honor those who perished and pay tribute to those who survived as we continue to fight for religious freedom and tolerance for all.
We must not forget that until the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted in 1948, there was almost no system that enabled criticism of, let alone action against government mistreatment of people within its borders. Unfortunately, a lot of people have the mentality that since the Holocaust was a long time ago, it doesn't matter anymore. Or that since they are not Jewish, it doesn't matter to them, and they are very wrong for that. History is important because of the roots that it created in societies all over the world. History also shares with us deeply important lessons that need to be heard and remembered by every single living person. The lessons of the Holocaust can be applied everywhere. This is not just about the history of the Jewish people or the history of the people in Germany during World War II. This is not even necessarily a story about World War II. The Holocaust is a very deep story about the effect that hatred and prejudice can have on a community. It is a story about millions of people who refuse to use their voice to help others. And because of that refusal, millions of people lost their lives for no other reason than the belief that they were an inferior people. An enduring lesson is that the Holocaust succeeded not only because of the systematic and industrial level extermination of European Jewry by the Nazis, but equally as a result of the state-sanctioned ideology of hate. It is a teaching of contempt, the demonizing of the other, that is indeed the driver and source. As the Canadian Supreme Court affirmed, the Holocaust did not begin in the gas chambers. It began with wars. It began with genocidal incitement. One of the key experiences shared by victims of the Holocaust, as well as other genocides and acts of hatred, is a perpetrator's ability to dehumanize them. Dehumanization is a removal of human dignity, human rights, humanity its integrity. Dehumanization is key to getting ordinary people to commit acts of violence and mass murder against their community members. People being assigned uniforms, numbers, having their heads shaved, and not being allowed to speak their native languages, practice their cultural traditions, or honor their religious beliefs, all point to dehumanization. And sadly, we see dehumanization everywhere. We must remember and honor the survivors of the Holocaust. They witnessed and endured the very worst of inhumanity, but found the courage to survive and rebuild their lives. Today, we use the Holocaust to remember that we, as world citizens, can and must do better. Thank you.